local service-based business doing live Q&A right now. So if you are building a local service business and you're here, looks like we have the first person joined. Who do we have joining and where are you from and what business are you building? Go ahead and place that in the chat over here, especially if you're hearing my audio. I need to make sure that we have audio here. We've had some microphone issues, but in this video, we're just going to be going over um, how to build local service businesses. We'll talk online strategies, how to go leverage Google Business Profile to get organic bookings, how to leverage paid ads, how to build systems to go build sales teams. The opportunity right now exists in local service. It's a massive opportunity for entrepreneurship. All the smartest people in the world are competing in software and they're competing in e-commerce right now. If you know how to do a sweaty or blue collar service, you can go get paid for that right now in your local market. So if you just put a basic digital marketing plan together, do things like Google Business Profile, get a website, run some basic social media stuff, you can go start generating leads and booking jobs in your local service market. One of my friends, Logan, who's in our school community, he just started an excavation business. He launched a website, started doing some basic SEO and a Google Business Profile, and he's booked like $15,000 worth of projects in the first month of starting his business. So this opportunity exists all over the country in multiple different markets. Pick a service as long as it's sweaty, blue collar. Uh, you can go generate leads and book jobs. So who do we have joining? We got 3 people here. What kind of service business are you looking to start? What kind of service business do you currently own and operate? Go ahead and place that in the chat over here. But if not, I'm just going to go ahead and dive in here. Um, so I think if you are starting a business right now, some of the lowest hanging fruit that you can go do is start a Google Business Profile. You can pick a service. You can generate a name using your service area plus your service. So, for example, if you're in Milwaukee and you want to do landscaping, do Milwaukee Landscaping Service. You'll start an LLC, buy the, pay the state fee to file it, and then you'll get it on file. You'll set up a Google Business Profile, use the same exact address that you used for your business address, and there is a hack here, or I think it's a sort of it's an important piece about where to go place your Google Business Profile. I believe that Google and your customers have a psychological perception of where your business profile is located. So if you place it out in the country, if you live out in a rural area, you can do that at your house. But I believe it's better if you place it somewhere on Main Street. So what I like to do is go rent an office or find a co-working space, rent an office for a couple months, do it to go get the business verified and use that as the business address. And then you can put your name there. You can get your listing showing up right there. And then Google is basically going to showcase you to customers who are searching within like a 10 to 15-mile radius. Psychologically, though, the customer immediately sees you as a professional business if you show up on Main Street with other professional businesses. Think about that. If you're searching for a service, if you want pest control, right? If you need somebody to come spray your house for pests, it's the last service we paid for here at my house. So we search pest control. Somebody shows up out in the middle of the mountains and rural area versus somebody shows up as a professional business on Main Street. Psychologically, we immediately associate that business with a professional business, the one on Main Street, right? So that's the one that we're clicking on. That's the one that we're calling. That's the one that we are asking for a service. And so if you're in a rural town, I do recommend that you go find a place to office out of with your business, find a co-working space, call real estate agents. That's another one that you can call. Real estate agents love making money. If you just say, hey, my name's Austin, I need an office address, I'll pay you a couple $100 a month to work out of your office. Then you can go put signage on that office. You can go There's a Google verification process. My friends over at Striker Digital who optimize SEO for local service businesses, they have a complete video for getting verified. Um, and it's pretty straightforward. But if you just do that, there's a lot of people right now who don't go through the process of getting their Google business profile verified as a service listing. A lot of people will just take the easy route and go service area business. Basically, what that's going to do is it's not going to drop your pin at any sort of specific location. You're just going to tell Google that you do a service area or you serve a local service area. And my friends over at Striker have told me that in most every scenario or most every market, they have very rarely found where a service area business will ever outrank one with an actual dropped pin location. So if you just go do that, pick your name, choose your name as the area plus the service, get a Google business profile, go build a basic website with your area plus your services, and I recommend paying a pro, especially if you're starting out. A lot of people want to do DIY websites. I think it's a waste of time. You're going to spend way more time and headache than the 1,500 or 2,500 bucks it's going to cost you to go pay a pro to build it right the first time. So that's the first step in my mind, is going to making sure that your website is buttoned up and built by a pro, SEO optimized, connect it to a Google business profile. And if you just start doing some, like if you go start knocking doors and handing out flyers and getting a couple jobs lined up, the next thing you need to do is focus on getting 5-star reviews. Once you get the 5-star reviews on your Google business profile, now Google's algorithm is going to start picking you up as a local service business. Once you start getting some reviews, now you've got some traction. Google's going to serve you up to more searches. People are going to search for power washing or landscaping in Milwaukee, and they're going to show you to more people who are searching. Therefore, you're going to get more calls. This is a very simple process, right? I believe there is a big opportunity in entrepreneurship right now for people who want to start a business in local services. You can pick any service, really. Go find a rural market on the outskirts of town, um, and then go optimize your Google business profile for that outskirt. Just start there, and you can build a business off of that right there. I don't recommend going into I guess Milwaukee was a bad example then. What I like to do is go find a suburb outside of a bigger area. So take Denver, for example. Like the last thing that I would want to do is go try to rank for Denver landscaping. But what I would like to do is go pick an outskirt community like Castle Rock, or something, go north, and then pick a really niche service area and go all in on that with your business name and your service. Pick one service, go all in, and the opportunity exists everywhere in every local service market right now. Who do we have on here? Can you let us know where you're from, and if you're trying to start a business? What's a question you have? Paste it in the chat right here. I'm an open book right now. We've built multiple local service businesses using these strategies, and I want to help people here. So just jump on, paste your questions, let us know where you're from, what business you're building. See if I can share my screen here. So check this out. There is, if you're watching on this right now, this is sort of this is the system that I have in mind. Like after I started my first business, I realized that this system could be applied to any local service in any market. So the hardest thing for me right now is not to go start 10 different businesses right now. I've started 4 up to this point. I've sold a couple of them after they started kicking off leads. One of the guys who bought a power washing business from me that I did this with has already grown it to like 25K a month. But if you start with a baseline of the sales and marketing system or the funnel, then you're going to have a baseline for going and building a really good business. If you can get the leads and if you can sell the jobs, you can build your fulfillment team around that. It's really hard though to go build a fulfillment team and not have the leads and the jobs, because then you've got all this overhead first and you don't know how to go get jobs, and now we've got problems, right? But if you can focus on building your sales and marketing system first, you're kind of bulletproofing your future of your business to an extent, right? If you have consistent lead volume, and if you have a process to go close those leads into jobs, you always have a business. You can go multiple different routes. You can build an in-house crew at that point, like build the actual business and W-2 your employees and hire a bunch of internal team members to go fulfill that service. The second route that you can go is you can build a subcontracted team. You can go get the leads and sell the jobs and hire trusted subcontractors and then outsource the jobs to those subcontractors. A lot of roofing companies do this, masonry companies. It's more like trade specific businesses who do that. Cleaning businesses right now, it's really popular in that. We've built an in-house team in our business. We believe that quality control is really important. We believe in delivering five-star service, and we just feel like it's a better path forward for the land service business that we operate. Things like fire mitigation, land clearing, excavation, snow removal. We want to control that quality, and we want to hire for the right fits inside of our company, vet those people, and then give them an opportunity to go grow and help us build a business. The third option that you can do, and I don't recommend this, I'm not doing this at all right now, but what I see other people doing is building the sales and marketing system that gets the leads, and then they go sell those leads to other contractors. So you've got options, is the point I'm trying to make, if you focus on building the system first. So let's talk about the system. How do you build the system? Well, you got to get organic traffic. And like you can see here, we focused heavily on our Google business profile. We do larger ticket jobs that are longer periods. So we have 54, maybe we have 55 now at the time of recording this, five-star reviews. The important thing to me is that we don't have anything less than five-star reviews. If you're looking at a plumbing company who does high volume and lower ticket services, or an HVAC company, things like that, um, then they're going to have hundreds and hundreds of reviews, right? If they're doing this well. Sometimes we have week-long projects, sometimes we have month-long, sometimes we have 2-month-long projects, and so um, that's why we don't have hundreds and hundreds of reviews yet. But the important thing is that you focus on delivering five-star for all of your clients, right? Um, but we focused heavily on getting reviews um, when it makes sense to ask the customer, right? If we know we've delivered five-star service, if the customer didn't have a bunch of change orders or requests, like, we'll ask for that five-star review. And by doing that, you are going to get, you're going to start feeding the Google algorithm with um, basically, you're telling Google that you provide this service in your local community. Now, some things that can help here are you posting pictures to your Google business profile, just like a social media account, after every single job. What this actually does is Google reads the metadata associated with your photo. And whenever that photo is posted to Google business profile, if you're within your service area, it's basically, sorry, it's reading the geolocation data. So if it knows that you are in whatever, let's say you're outside of Dallas, Texas, and you provide service in outside of Dallas, and you take the photo from there on one of your jobs, you post it, you give it a little description, well pumping services in Dallas or whatever, right? Septic install services in Waxahachie, whatever, whatever service market you're in. It's going to further verify with Google's algorithm that you are an actual service provider and you are actually providing a great service and doing jobs there. Now, even better is whenever your customer, one, leaves a review, but two, posts a photo associated with that review. And then three, the best thing is whenever your customer leaves a five-star review, posts a photo and mentions some of your services or your team members' names in there. You are verifying with Google's algorithm that you are an actual business, and then it's going to go show you and your business to more people who are searching for that product or service. Why? Because Google has a reputation to withhold as well. They have a reputation that's currently standing. So if they start showing a bunch of low quality service providers in their algorithm, what do you think that customers' perception is going to be of Google? It's going to be a bad one, right? So what they try to do is work with the highest level service providers so that when a customer searches and uses Google's platform for search, they are served up with the right service provider for the right service in the right area. That's why this can be really powerful. Okay, this is one of the most important things that you can do right now, and it's literally free. It just costs you your time, and a lot of people aren't willing to go put in the time to get the 5-star reviews. I can specifically remember when I was starting the business, I would literally take on like $200 and $300 jobs and make sure that everything on their property was immaculate. I did more than I was paid for, did more than I was asked. And then once they were like, oh my gosh, this is the best service I've ever, when that came out of their mouth, then I asked them for the review. Hey, would you mind to just leave this in a 5-star review on our Google business profile? I'm starting this business from the ground up, and it would mean the absolute world to me because this is actually really helpful for small business owners. And when you provide a great service, people are more than willing to do that for you. Okay. The next thing is paid traffic, right? So you can run paid Facebook ads now. Before, all of you are like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. I'm going to check in here. Who do we have here? Can't see your screen. Ah, black screen. Great. Jeez. YouTube Live is really being, really being challenging for me right now. Still no screen. Can you let me know in the comments if you can see the screen? I can see it on my end. Are you able to see organic traffic, Google Business Profile, paid traffic? I'm in J. Can you see this? Test, test. Can you see this? Can you see the screen? Sharing Figma.com to YouTube Studio. Everything looks correct on my end. I'm going to keep rolling. So if you are joining here, stop sharing. Let me try to just do entire screen. Maybe that. YouTube is sharing your screen. How do we have that? How is that working now? Can you let me know? Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. All right, I'm going to keep rocking with it. I'm just going to stop sharing. Okay, so I'm going to work off of this on the back end, and yeah, I'll have to figure out my screen share settings later. But the next thing we have is paid traffic, right? Paid traffic, you can run Facebook ads, all right? Now, before you get all off on the wrong foot with Facebook ads, like I've tried them, they don't work. They do work. You just got to run them right. And they're actually really easy to do. So there's two ways that you can run Facebook ads. One, you can get on camera and just be like, hey, it's Awesome Bear Claw Land Services. We provide XYZ services, and just showing your personal face, especially if you're in a rural area, and showcasing like maybe some of your crews or equipment in the background or some of your trucks. Like that is immediately going to build more trust with you and your business because people feel like they're doing business with a human rather than just some random business they've never met. When you think about home services, like you're letting people come into your house, your personal privacy, your personal space. They're coming onto your land. They want to trust you, right? If you can just like be super polite, respectful. Hey, it's Awesome with Bear Claw. We provide forestry, excavation, and snow removal services here in Grand County, right? If you can just let people know, you're going to be a step ahead. And then you just target based on the zip code. I can't tell you how many people when I walk around here are like, oh, I saw your ad, like it's some novel thing. It's like, well, yeah, I'm targeting the zip code. Like everybody who comes into the zip code who's scrolling Facebook or Instagram is going to see my ad because Facebook Meta's algorithm is so good that like I don't have to do any of that work. All I got to do is get on the camera and just pay Facebook. And it's awesome because you get leads from it. Okay. That's like the most basic form that or basic ad. Um Now that I wouldn't recommend running that. That's just like the easiest thing that you could do to get in front of camera and get you some reps. If you're scared of getting on camera, I get it. I was too. If you're scared of what people think in your local market, I get it. I still am too. Like I still, as much as I want to say like, oh, I don't care what people think. Like I'm an entrepreneur, I'm building things. It's like, no, a lot of people are like seeing your ad and like, they're it's like, oh my gosh, here's another guy on ads or internet, right? Like you're wondering if people are going to be like, oh, that's, cringe or whatever. I'm at a certain point right now where I have a wife and daughters, and I got to make sure that my kids have food on the table. So I actually have moved past the fact of like whether I care or not. If people think, it's cringe or whatever, the reality is it drives leads to my business and it books jobs and it makes our business more money. And I have a duty to my team members and my family to build the business. This is what I'm committed to doing. Okay. And if I don't do everything that I possibly can to make sure that this business grows and that everybody else is paid and salaries are paid and payroll is paid and all that good stuff, then it's very simple. Like if you don't do the right things, your business fails. And I don't like failing. I don't like losing. And so I'm going to do whatever I can to make sure and drive leads to the business. But I get it if you're struggling with the getting on camera, especially like running ads to your local market, wondering what your friends and family are going to think. Like I totally get it. Um, Still crosses my mind, but you get some reps in there, it starts to become more natural. You just kind of start working through it, right? Like I'm looking into a camera right now, and I remember when I first started my podcast, I didn't know, I didn't, I didn't really know. I don't know. It just felt weird, It's like, oh man, I'm putting myself out here on the internet. But I'm telling you, it can be a really, really, really powerful tool to help you grow your business. If you can tap into Facebook ads, think about it. How many people are scrolling Facebook? How many people are scrolling Instagram? It's pure interruption marketing, but if you give the people a good offer, all right. And here's what I'll tell you, the best ad you can run right now, I shouldn't say the best, but like the ad that I spend a lot of time running different variations on is before and after. Does your property look like this? And then put like dead trees in the background, and you want it to look like this and show an area that you've already cleared and cleaned up. That ad works. Doesn't matter what service you're in. If you're power washing, does your heavy equipment look like this? Have like a dirty excavator or dozer in your background, and you want it to look like this, and then just do one that you've like pristinely cleaned. Just show before and after, and let Facebook algorithm like find your ideal customers from there. You basically need to follow this format when you're filming ads: before and after, who you are, what service you provide, and the area you provide, and do that really quick. Because one thing that's really easy for most people when they get on camera, myself included, is to like just start talking about yourself. But the reality is, people don't care about you. You really don't care about me. You just really care about how I can help you grow your business. So once you figure out that your job is to just help the person on the other side of the camera or the person who's scrolling the ad, and it's not about you, then things become a lot easier. So, what do the people who are paying us for our jobs care about? Well, they care about the fact that they have a dirty property with dead wood littered everywhere in their forest, and they want it cleaned up, right? So we just do, hey, does your property look like this? And do you want it to look like this? My name's Austin with Bear Claw Land Services. We provide forestry and fire mitigation here in Grand County. Quick, notice how I did that in like less than 5 seconds. Don't talk about yourself anymore after that. So it's like show them before and after, tell them who you are real quick, and then just direct them in the right way. Your job as a marketer and somebody who's building a sales process is to just direct your customers along the next steps. They're clicking because they're ready to buy. They're clicking because you have found a problem that they have, and you're probing into that problem and you're walking them right into your solution. You're just directing them right to your solution. The reality is, most of these people who are paying for these local services, whether it be plumbing, electrical, HVAC, land clearing, forestry cleanup, excavation, um, foundation repair, whatever it is, they're gonna pay somebody to do it. When they have a service that they need at their house, pest control, right? Last week, for example, we hired a pest control company. We were going to pay somebody to do it, but the company who was listed online and who answered their phone and booked a site visit with us is the company who got our dollars. It's no different than you. If you're a service provider, you just have to figure out where to position yourself based on where your customers are searching. First, identify that. Where are they searching? Well, I can tell you this right now, a lot of people search Google and Google Maps, and a lot of people scroll Facebook and Instagram every day. It's very simple. Look no further. And then if you really want to get targeted in it, like what I'm doing here with my podcast and with the system that we've built here for other local entrepreneurs, like I'm using YouTube's algorithm right now, and I don't even care. I haven't even checked how many people do we have. We have 3 people on. I'm not worried about views in any way, shape, or form. I'm not worried about views. What I'm worried about, or not worried about, what I'm focusing on is creating the content that is ideal for the specific customer because there's some crazy things that go on behind the scenes, right? I guarantee you what's happening is YouTube's algorithm is listening to my voice. They're hearing what I'm talking about and they're serving me up in the discovery page or about page or whatever it is on YouTube to the ideal clients, right? If you're somebody who wants to build a local service business and you're still listening on this, case in point, the algorithms are powerful. All you have to do as the entrepreneur or the business owner right now is just get in front of camera and talk about it in the right way, in the right format, and give the algorithm what the algorithm is going to read and recognize, and then let the algorithm show that to the right customers. Once you figure this out, there is endless opportunity, especially in local service businesses, because your competitors in local service businesses, think about it. Who own all the excavation companies? Who owns all of the HVAC companies? I say all as a general term. Who owns the majority of these companies right now? They're baby boomers. All right. They're the guys like my pops, who owns a concrete business back home, who built his business strictly from showing up, working hard, shaking people's hands, looking people in the eye. And like, there are so many things that you can take away as a business owner that you should, that like, I love the baby boomer generation, hard working generation. The opportunity for millennials and Gen Z, though, is because, or exists because most of the baby boomers don't want anything to do with digital marketing or social media. Now, I can fall really far into that mindset as well because sometimes it's annoying, right? Like, I don't absolutely love the fact that we have so much screen time involved, especially thinking about raising kids, right? There are so many like downsides to it, but if you look at the upsides and leverage it in a positive way, you can get your business in front of other people who are going to be paying dollars to somebody else regardless. And the way I see it, I have a moral responsibility to my wife and my daughters to make sure that my business is paying me enough money to afford our mortgage, to afford food on the table, to make sure our kids can go to school, make sure our kids have the resources. To me, that is living a life well lived, right? I'm taking the responsibility as a husband and as a father and stepping up and doing what I need to do to make sure that they are well taken care of. Secondly, you've got a responsibility to your team. If you've built the team and they are living off of your payroll as a business, like you've got a responsibility to them. And that is what drives me right now. So, fearful to get in front of camera? Absolutely. And I've fumbled so many times like, hey, it's awesome. Oh, it's okay. You know what? Nobody cares. Remind yourself this. Very few people actually care about that. Very few people actually care about you. And I know that's a harsh thing to say, but most people actually just care about themselves. Okay. There are some close family and friends and people at the church who I know love me as a person and care about me deeply. But outside of that, like most people just care about themselves. And once you realize that, you just realize that it doesn't really matter if you fumble on camera or if you get on here and your live stream doesn't really work. My microphone's not working. Like, it's not going to affect the fact that my microphone didn't work at the beginning of this thing is not going to affect your day to day if you're listening to this still. It's not going to. But some people get so worried about it, right? Like, oh my gosh, like my microphone on my live stream was just down. Like, I don't know. It's like, no, nobody cares. Just figure out a way to move forward and get better, right? You as an entrepreneur, if you can find problems and then identify how to go solve those problems for people, you get paid. That's simply that is the definition of an entrepreneur. Problem solver. Find people's problems, provide great solutions, provide solutions, deliver great service, and you get paid. It's very simple. But in order to provide the great solutions, you need to figure out a way to get your services in front of the right people. If I have not made it clear, I believe social media right now has a massive, massive opportunity, or poses a massive opportunity for millennials and Gen Z who want to build service-based business. Now, you could apply this in like software, e-commerce, and go do the drop shipping thing, and like still works, like the algorithms still work the same, but you have a lot more competition from a lot smarter people. All the MBAs, all the Stanford grads, all the people who are working on tech startups, they're competing with each other. The smartest people in the world are trying to compete for the same keywords, like, I don't know, whatever, like baby formula drop shipping, or like if you're building an e-commerce business, like there's a hundred or thousand other people out there trying to compete for that same keyword on Google. If you go into, I don't know, I don't know why this one's coming to mind, but like Waxahachie, Texas, and you say, I want to start a plumbing business, and you call it Waxahachie Plumbing, and you optimize a Google business profile right there in the middle of Waxahachie, guess who's getting the traffic right now? Not only is it right now, but think about how much this flywheel is going to spin. Right now, most people search for a service that they need online. If you are optimizing your service area for your service, you're going to get traffic. You just have to do the work to get there. So if I haven't made it clear, Google business profile, first step, connect that to a website. Second step, seriously, if you go DIY a website, please don't build it on Wix, because you're just going to get outperformed by the people on WordPress. Go pay an agency. I've used multiple different agencies. When I first started Bear Claw, I used a company called LaunchKits, launchkits.com. Shout out to Justin and his team. If you need a website, there's, I don't know, it's like 2,500 bucks or less. I think they even had packages for something like 1,000, 1,500. I haven't looked in several years, but just go get them to build you a website. If they're a great team, they offer unlimited support for 99 bucks a month. And I don't get any affiliate commission, or I'm not selling for them. I'm telling you guys like what I would do if I was starting the business from scratch. If you want somebody who can scale with you and build your SEO, Striker Digital, they're a partner of ours, meaning like they've ran our SEO for several years now. They got us to number one. Like our SEO crushes right now. And it's because Striker is at the top of the game for local service business SEO. I recommend paying the pros. Otherwise, you're going to spin your wheel trying to become a pro SEO person. And the reality is, you're an entrepreneur. You, as an entrepreneur, are responsible for going and building the team who can deliver the service. The first place that you need to go is you need to go physically get your Google business profile up, pay a pro to build you a website. Why? Because it's going to be optimized for SEO. Second thing you can do, um, like what I did early on, was just knock doors, hand out flyers. If you just view it as a math equation, if you hand out 100 flyers and knock on 100 doors, X amount of that means 100 people are going to see or hear about your business. There is going to be a certain percentage of people who call you. It's probably going to be like 5% or less, but who cares? You just commit to go doing the thing that you can control. And then if 5 people out of 100 call you for a service and you close 50% of those, let's just say you close 20% of those people, then you're getting your one job. You've got one job after handing out 100 flyers. Now I'm setting the bar really low. You should get way more than that. Um, I also have a free school group here where I show people how to do targeted direct mailers. You can use this in any county. You can go pull, um, find mailing addresses and send targeted direct mail to people. All right. That, like, if I was starting right now and I only wanted to spend like 300 to 500 bucks on marketing, I would just go do that time in, time out, time in, time out until I got jobs. Paid ads is kind of a next level step up, but for some of you who have businesses, if you're listening to this, oh, we got 5 people on. Who else we got? Please just post your first name. I'm not trying to like acquire data here or anything like weird like that. Like, I just want to help you guys. So post your name, what business you're working on, throw some questions. I'm just going off the cuff right now. I'm just thinking about like if I were to start again, which I actually am. Um, I'm starting a business called Arbor Service. It's a tree service specifically focused on tree services because we're getting a lot of demand already in our funnel. And I want to keep our excavation and fire mitigation business focused on those services because I believe one of the toughest things to do as an entrepreneur once you start get going, people ask you to do a lot of things once you already deliver five-star service. For example, we got asked to build a deck the other day. It's like, no, we don't build decks. We just do fire mitigation. We just do excavation. In the winter, we push snow. You want anything else, just call somebody else. The power of saying no is going to actually help you grow faster. From all the people, hundreds of people I've interviewed over 100 people on the podcast. The people who are building 10, 20, $30 million businesses all talk about the power of saying no. If once you're getting going, rather than being the jack of all trades to everybody, you just need to pick one or a couple services, focus all in on that. That way, your marketing dollars are all spent on that. That way, your funnel is building. That way, you can hire specialists and then you can actually grow the business and break through the 7-figure mark. That's kind of where we're at right now. We're at this unique phase where we could bolt on like on another residential tree service business to our existing business, but I just don't believe that that makes sense. Like I want to keep the Bear Claw brand focus on um, the excavation and land clearing side of things, right? And the fire mitigation falls under land clearing because we use all the same type of equipment. So I'm literally going to go be implementing, drinking my own Kool-Aid here that I'm talking about for starting a tree service business. All right. And we'll do that. And I'll share a lot of this stuff in the free school group. So if you want to join the free school group, you can go to school.com/ownerops. That's SKOOL.com/OWNROPS. Just jump in there. I do a lot of free service startup resources. I can do business card templates, flyer templates. I go over my postcard delivery mailing system, how to go drum up those kind of jobs. I even give my exact hiring template for hiring a back office VA, virtual assistant, for how to get things off of your plate as an owner. Um, this was one of the most important hires that I made early on in our business because when you start and when you go rock and roll and you're doing everything as a solo owner operator, you're getting bogged down by multiple things. You are getting bogged down by sales, by meeting with customers, by trying to run the field, by managing your field crew, by HR, payroll, sending quotes, following up on quotes, sending invoices, following up on invoices. There's just a million things that you need to do. And as a excuse me, as a solo owner operator, you can get overburdened really quickly. So one of the main skills that one of my friends and guy who is really successful in building small businesses said to do was just figure out how to hire, document where your time is going and hire, and just do that time and time again. Just go find the right person to fill that role and take that off your plate. And when you do that, you just start to build a team. And then whenever you like where we're at right now is I'm trying to identify what one of our highest performers is doing and where he's spending his time and where he's overburdened. So I'm just helping him get stuff off of his plate, right? You as the entrepreneur, you're just the problem solver. That's all you are. That's all you do consistently, consistently, consistently. So first it's like get everything off of your plate so that you can focus on looking at the bigger picture. Then focus on your teammates and figure out all these people or the people you have hired, what do they need help with? Where are they spending their time? Figure out what's the highest and best use of their time. If you don't know, ask them. They're going to have a really good idea of what they think the best use of their time is. And then they're also going to tell you all the things that annoy them about their job. So it's like, okay, sweet. If this annoys you, if like coming home, like doing estimates after you get home, doing like 8 site visits annoys you, let's just hire somebody to get that off your plate. Now that person can be working the 8 hours a day while you're out doing site visits and you guys can be calling back and forth doing the things together. That's how you build a team, right? But what you first have to do is get those things off your plate whenever you're building the business so that you can have the freedom to look at the higher level strategy. All right. Where do we go? We got 6 people here. Do we have anybody else? Anybody want to introduce themselves? Say name and what business you're building. What question do you have in business? I'm gonna take a pause. Oh, we had one drop off. Bummer. I'm telling you, view count, view count does not matter. I see a lot of people jump on social media and they're like, oh man, I only had like 3 likes on Who cares? Like, you got to commit to the actions if you want to leverage social media to go grow your business. Nobody cares, right? Nobody cares. I love what Cameron Haynes says, the archery dude. It's like, nobody cares. Work harder. Nobody cares. Work harder. And I try to think about that every single day. Nobody really actually cares. But whenever you think about if you're going to leverage social media to grow your business, think about the person viewing your ad or watching your content like I am right now. I'm trying to think about what would help you guys and gals if you're on here. What would help you grow your business? Because that's all you really care about is growing your business. You're only here because you think I have some value that can help you. You don't really actually care about me or my life. And that's fine. I know that. The point I'm trying to make here is whenever you go run a Facebook ad and get on camera, just know that, like, who cares what other people think? It's still going to be there. It never goes away. Like, there is always something right now that's still telling me, even though I'm going to say this right now, you got to get over what people think. It comes with reps when you record ads and when you launch ads in your local market. The more reps you get, the less you start to care. It never truly goes away, though, right? We're all worried about, are other people going to see me negatively? Or are they going to think I'm doing something cringe in my market if I'm filming an ad for how to market my power washing services? My recommendation is just, you're an entrepreneur. If it feels uncomfortable, you should run towards it and just smack that uncomfortability right in the face every single time. Anytime something makes you feel uncomfortable in your gut, move forward it. Move forward it rather than, excuse me, move forward towards it rather than running away from it. Because if you run away from it, that's always going to be there. That gut feeling about building the business, whether it's hiring your first time, a lot of people will be like, well, I never hired before. I never conducted an interview. It's like, so what? Just go conduct an interview. You get better with reps. Every single interview you do, you figure out what questions to ask. But I see so many people just getting caught up in the over analyzing things. Well, I don't know how to run ads. Just go search on YouTube how to run Facebook ads for local service business, and then watch a video and then go implement, take action. The action takers get rewarded. There's a saying I heard recently, your bank account or your business bank account is a true reflection of how much value you're providing to someone else. So if you are providing landscaping services, go deliver great landscaping services to people, because if they feel like they've received a great value, they're going to leave you a 5-star review, and it's just going to create this flywheel and this cycle. Okay. What questions do y'all have? Got six people on here. I'm going off the cuff on here, talking about how if nobody wants to introduce themselves, just post in the comment, just keep rolling. If you guys are digging this, which piece do you want me to go deeper on? We've talked Google business profile, we've talked Facebook ads, we've talked a little bit of hiring, we've talked hiring VAs. I include a bunch of free resources in there, just like the job description for hiring virtual assistants in that free school group. You can literally copy and paste and go hire a VA in the Philippines for $400 to $800 a month. And people who are in the school group, there's a guy named Efren who posted that he didn't even know this stuff existed 24 hours ago, and then he went and implemented this, and then he had a VA by the end of the week. He had his first call with her, and he was already delegating some of the back office tasks like sending quotes, sending invoices, sending schedules, or scheduling crews and all that. Anybody want to jump in here? Losing people. You just find what works, right? Like, you do things and you find what works. So, oh man, we lost. We went from 6 to 2 right there. What's the learning lesson? Don't plug the free school group, Austin. All right. So, if you implement that, if you do implement paid ads and you do implement Google Business Profile, you should be able to go generate leads. After you generate leads, we need to have a website or a landing page with an opt-in to capture these leads. Once you have the leads captured, you collect their name, their email, their phone number. Then what you want to do is take them through a thank you page. I don't see, like, if you have an example of a service business doing this, let me know. But you can just go and see my thank you page. I think it's bearclawlandservices.com/thanks. We just do like a quick, easy video. Hey, it's Austin with Bear Claw. One of my team members is going to be reaching out to you here shortly. We're going to collect, we're just going to verify some information, make sure we have the correct address for the work, correct name, correct contact email and phone. And then we're going to book a site visit with our project manager. And then it's just like a quick tell them about what they can expect next steps. And this is starting to increase our conversion rate. Once we embed the thank you page, we capture a little bit more information, which further qualifies that lead. Because once you realize that you get going in this, getting the leads is not the hard part. It's qualifying the leads to make sure that your highly paid salespeople are actually spending their time with people who are ready to buy. That's where kind of the massaging comes in, right? Like you got to figure out your funnel and the lead capture page to sort of qualify people for the next steps to figure out if they have the capital or the money to invest, if they have the time to meet with your salesperson, if they have a project that actually fits within what you can deliver 5-star service on, then that's a good fit. We also have nurture campaigns, text and email sequences with this system that we have built for owner ops. We've built the exact system, same system that I'm using in Bear Claw, just to capture the leads and then hit them with emails, text sequences for automatic follow-up sequences. And we're very straightforward about it. It's like, hey, this is an automatic follow-up. We're just letting you know that here's what you can expect next steps. And people seem to appreciate it, right? But if you engage your customer and if you educate your customer before your salesperson gets there on the site visit, for example, if you showcase reviews from past clients, if you direct them to your about page on your website that clearly outlines who the team is, here's who's handling what role, they start to get to know your business a little bit better, which what does that do? Increases more trust. The whole thing about sales is you just have to build up trust with people. Once people trust you, they're a lot more willing to buy from you. If they don't trust you, if they don't know you, they're not going to give you $25,000 to come on their property. But our sales process has been thought through in a way like we've gone all the way down to like what information can we provide at the specific different phases of the funnel that would build more trust. Because the reality is we know the 5-star service we can deliver, we know how good our team is, we know how good our field crews are, but unless you give the customers insight into that with some proof to back it up, they're never going to know. So you can just show up cold turkey on a site visit because here's what happens most of the time. You get a call from a referral. Hello, you know, yeah, can I come take a look at it? I'll swing by later this afternoon after I'm done with work, right? They don't really want to do that. They want to work with a professional. Think about that as opposed to they call into your business. Hey, this is Bear Claw Land Services. This is Austin. How may I help you? Oh, well, I just saw your ad. I was calling to reach out for some forestry cleanup services. Oh, that's great. Perfect. Well, tell me a little bit more about your project. Great. Now I'm just going to verify some details. The next step of this process is that we book a time on our calendar, book a time on your calendar with our project manager for him to come assess your project in further detail. This just allows us to take a lot of notes, look for any hazards that we need to keep an eye out for, things like wellheads, septic systems, leach fields, and any areas that we need to avoid with our equipment while we're on site. Do mornings or afternoons typically work better for you? So, like that process, right, is so much different than hello, I'll swing by after work. They're like, oh, cool. Okay. He's just going to come take a look at it and then he'll just like send me an estimate. Who do you think the customer is going to choose? If they're choosing between option A being the guy who, hello, I'll swing by after work, or option B, the company who answers with a professional sales script or professional phone script that actually values the customer, that actually listens to them, that actually takes notes in and puts them into a system that allows the project manager to have access to those notes about that customer and further identify what they are looking for so that we can then communicate that to a field crew to deliver 5-star service. Who do you think they're going to choose? I can tell you who we want to work with are the people who are going to choose option B. And the people who are going to choose option B are usually the people who are willing to pay more for the service. That's who we're willing to work with. That's who we want to work with at our company. We don't want to work with the people who's looking for the cheapest price. Why? Because you can't build a business at the bottom. There's room for two in any market. I guess you can because Walmart's doing it, right? They've proven that you can do that. So take what I just said up. But there are room for two. There's room for the cheapest and there's room for the best. I would rather be focus on being the best because it's challenging. You can challenge your team and you can charge a higher price because you're delivering a better level of service. There are people in every market. Excuse me, there are people on both sides of the coin in every market. The people who want the best service and the people who want the cheapest. We want to work with the people who want the best level of service. Why? Because if we charge more, that like and so many people just get the wrong perception here. They're like, oh, the owner's making all the money. It's like I've got multiple guys who make more than I do from the business, right? Because I am committed to investing in our people and building a team and creating opportunities for people to live a great lifestyle in the place that we get to call home. That's what motivates me. And you can't build that kind of team who's going to commit to that level of quality of service if you aren't charging either at the top or even above the top of the market. That's always been my perspective. We want to work with the people who want the best quality service. So they're going to expect our salesperson to show up on the site visit, shake their hand, look them in the eye, ask detailed questions about their project and take detailed notes. We live in an age right now where note taking should never be an excuse. We have an app called Jobber. If you need a field crew management or a note taking app, just go get Jobber. I have a 20% discount here. It's go.getjobber.com/OWNROPS. I won't spend a ton of time on it. I'm not trying to just like promote other products. I've vetted a bunch of different software systems, and this is the one that I've chosen that works best for our business. And a lot of other people use it for field service as well. This is where we track our time. This is where we send our quotes, send our invoices, capture online payments. We build our schedule out of that. Our field crew knows every single day when they log into the app which job they're going to, the address, the details, the notes that our project manager takes on that job are all in that app and they can access from their mobile phone. These are the kinds of things why I believe it's such a big opportunity in local service business because you can implement things like software, technology, apps, marketing, and go and just deliver a better quality of service. If you're going to charge at the top of the market, you have to be dialed on your systems, you have to have lead flow, and you have to have a great sales process. All right. So once you get to the site visit, we update those notes with our project manager, and he takes all photos of any areas that he needs to take note of. He logs those photos in Jobber. Then we send them an estimate within 24 hours. After the customer, where we require 50% deposit. When the customer signs the estimate, they also remit their 50% deposit online so that we know that we can book that job on our schedule. Okay. Once you start doing this, once you commit to delivering 5-star service, you ask for 50% deposit up front, you're going to be able to create a better business because this is like, this is something I'm really very, very passionate about. And I had a big argument with somebody I know and love and respect a lot. Oh, I've never charged a deposit. I believe you should get paid after the work is done. And that's cool and that's moral and everything, but you can't build a business off of that. You need cash flows to pay your high performing team if you're going to attract talent. You have to have the cash flows to support it because here's what happens. You go book a job that's a month long and you don't ask for a 50% deposit. Guess what you still have to pay as the business owner? Guess what the business still has to pay? The $20,000 every 2 weeks in payroll to get the work done. That's how businesses go out of business because they don't understand cash flow cycles, when to capture the cash, where to deploy the cash. And it's not that, I mean, sure, some people go out of business because they just go buy stupid trucks and boats and all that stuff before they can afford it because it's a write off, right? Don't let me get off on the write off tangent. We'll save that for another YouTube live. Collecting the 50% deposit up front, this is the one thing that, like, when people pay me for one-on-one coaching, I'm just like, all right, open up your books. Let's look. What's cash in the account look like today? Well, it's low and I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make payroll. Well, do you collect a deposit up front? No, I don't feel like. Do it right now. Next job, 50% deposit. No questions asked. The only thing that's holding you back from collecting a 50% deposit is you right now, because you think that it's wrong or immoral or not the right thing to do. If you want your business to actually succeed, you need to get the deposit because your employees need to be paid. It's not so you can go put that money in your pocket and go buy the next boat. All right. If you're early on in business and you're still building a business and you're buying the boat, like something, your priorities are off. Right. If you actually care about the business, reinvest in the business. Reinvest. And what is the business? The business is two things: people, first and foremost, and systems. You should always be reinvesting in people and the systems. You got to go find the right people. But guess what? If you want a top tier talent, you ain't going to attract that top tier talent if you don't have the cash on hand to pay them for their salary in their first 2 weeks, right? Oh, but I've got a big 3 month job. Better get something up front. I'll tell you that, because you can go out of business real quick. All right. I'm very passionate about this. Collect your 50% deposit up front because your team deserves to be paid. The worst thing that you can do as a business owner is not pay your team. And if you don't pay your team, guess what? They're going to go find somebody else to work for. And they're going to go work. They're eventually going to find somebody who's collecting 50% deposit up front because that business can afford to pay them the salary that they agreed to pay them. Okay. I know this is a soapbox, but that is the first area I start. If you want to reach out and pay me for one-on-one coaching, you can just save the first session right now, because I'm going to make you go, or I can't make you do anything, but that first session is going to be, are you collecting 50% deposits? If no, go do it now. What do we need to do mentally to get you over the hump to go do that? Because your team needs it. That's why I get so passionate about it, because right now, the thing that motivates me is the fact that I have people who need to be paid, and they have bills that need to be paid, and they have families, and those families need to eat, and they need to pay for mortgages. It's pretty selfish if you think about it. If you were, oh, I'm just going to let the customer pay me afterwards. It's like you're doing your team a disservice now. Anyways, soapbox over. Collect the 50% deposit. Okay, update the notes. Make sure your field crew is on track with the notes that have been uploaded from the project manager. Our project manager does an incredible job. Meets with the field crew first day of the job. Anytime we mobilize, we move to another. Goes over all the notes in Jobber. Hey, this is the area. Here's the wellhead. Here's the leach field. We can't drive equipment over this. Does anybody have any questions? Yes, you have questions. Okay, let's address those right now. Let's also document what we just talked about. Oh, somebody has a question about this area. I actually didn't discuss that area with the customer. Let me go talk to the customer about this right now. Boom. Project manager goes, talks to the customer, documents that in Jobber. Now the team knows exactly what to do. The way businesses fall apart, one, I've already covered, is the cash flow. But two, how many times do you have a meeting with people and you leave and nothing gets done? And it's because it's like, oh, I thought you were doing that. No, you thought I was doing that. I thought early on, and I'm still challenging myself with this. Like, people don't want ambiguity. People also don't even care if you take the stuff on as the owner. They just want to know what you expect of them. If you're clear with your expectations and you clearly outline that in a written format or in a video format, there's no excuses today. I use Loom. I also include this in my free service startup playbook in the school group. Okay, school.com/ownerops, SKOOL. I use a video recording software called Loom. Anytime I document a new process, I just go on record, I document it. Loom is incredible. It transcribes what I say. Then I copy the transcript, I paste it into ChatGPT, and I say, help me make sense of this mumbo jumbo, right? Because my brain goes a million miles an hour. ChatGPT just like organizes it, creates, hey, you're an expert to-do list creator. I need this SOP created for our back office operations manager. Please create a step-by-step to-do list broken down by what day she should focus on what task. ChatGPT just rocks and rolls. These are the things right now, especially as like a highly ADD entrepreneur who loves living in strategy and marketing and sales mode. Like, these are the things that allow you to button up your operations. And I share all this in that school group. It's like how I'm using tools like Loom and ChatGPT and tools like Notion to build systems and SOPs so that everybody knows what their roles and jobs and responsibilities are. In my opinion, that's what kills businesses is people don't know what is expected of them and they also don't know what to do. It's not even so much how to do it. Maybe as we grow our business, we'll get further into how to do it. But I truly believe that people, especially highly motivated people or people who want to do well, and most people I believe want to do a good job. I believe most people can figure out their path for how to get there. They just don't understand the expectations. So if you can first get clear on the expectations that you have of them, you can ask them for help for how to get there. Hey, what do you think is the best way that we do this? Well, I was actually thinking that, the way that we did that the other day when you were saying to, you know, grease the machine this way, like if I just access it from over here, it's way easier. Oh, sweet. Okay, why don't you just update the SOPs? Perfect. You don't have to do everything as the entrepreneur. It's your job to set clear expectations of where you're going, what needs to be done, and then come back to how do we get here? Bring your team in, ask for their help. I see a lot of entrepreneurs just get in the wrong mindset of like they think they're up on this pedestal, right? I don't view it that way at all. I'm a part of our team and I'm very, very committed to that. Like I fill a certain role within our business. And it usually happens, the role I end up filling is the role that we just need next. One of my strengths as an entrepreneur is just being able to go quickly learn things and problem solve. So I just plug myself in as that person. A lot of other people on our team are really good at doing the recurring things, or they're really good at selling, or they're really good at operating equipment. And I just ask them to do that to the best of their ability. And I ask them to trust me to go get leads to the best of my ability, right? To document systems to the best of my ability. But in the future, like as we grow, I'm already to kind of to the point to where one of the next major hires I'm going to need is an operations director or somebody who is very systems focused because like I can do it. And I have the outline built out for how we build these things, but I need somebody to go in and like further refine all the details. But you just figure that out as you go. If you have a pulse on your business, you're going to understand what your business needs at any given time. I know the next two hires I need to make. I made one of them this last week. We needed somebody to support our project manager. He was getting overburdened. He sent over $2 million of quotes in the last 2 months. He's getting overburdened with all the admin work that comes with it. If we can get that guy in front of the customers, we are going to win. Like, very simply put. And I know that. It's kind of like playing football. Like if you were coaching a team and you got Tom Brady, you don't want Tom Brady taking the snap and trying to run it up the middle ever. You don't want him doing that. How do you eliminate against Tom Brady ever having to catch the ball from the snap and go run? How do you eliminate that as the coach? That's what you consistently have to think about. You want to put Tom Brady in the position where he can step back in the pocket, he's got complete protection, and he's just drilling darts, picking people apart. And then all of a sudden he picks people apart 3, 5, 7 times, and then boom, one bomb. That's the game here. Find what your people are great at. That comes from getting to know them, spending time with them, asking the right questions. Hey, what do you like doing? What's your favorite part about the job? Well, I actually love meeting with the customers. Okay, great. What do you hate doing? Well, I don't really hate doing anything. It's like you got to get a layer deeper. It's like, no, it's okay. Like you can tell me what you hate. It's totally fine. I'm asking this because I want to help you. And then that comes with time. The more trust you build with people, the more they're going to tell you what they don't like. And then your job is just to go find the next person who's good at what this person does not like. And then you pair them up and they work together as a team and then they go kick butt. That's when it gets fun. All right, we're live streaming. We got 2 people here left. I'm gonna wrap this one up. Thanks for joining, guys. Anybody else want to add anything or ask any questions before we jump off? Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? All right, rock and roll. Don't forget, work hard, do your best, never settle for less. We'll see y'all guys next week.